Hi, I'm Theresa and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing my 6th episode, yes, that many fingers, of Sapphic Reads. So if you don't already know, this is a series on my channel where I talk about some of the recent Sapphic books I have read and loved and hopefully convince you to read them too. And if you haven't already checked out the previous videos, I definitely recommend. I'll put a link to the playlist down below. And so this episode is honestly a bitty late because I just realised a couple days ago that I have got a bit of a build-up of Sapphic books I've read recently, so be prepared for a couple of Sapphic Reads videos in quick succession because I've got lots of books to talk about and I've read so many amazing Sapphic books so far this year. Cannot wait to read more. But yes, without any further ado, let's just get started. So first up I want to talk about the heavy vinyl graphic novels. I've only got the second one, which is Y2KO, but there's also a first one, of course. And so these are just very short and so much fun. They take place in this kind of nice retro 90s setting, and you follow a main character called Chris, who gets a job at a local record store, and this is like the dream for her. She's such a big music fan, the store's so cool, she's living her best life, love that for her. She's got a crush on her co-worker, and she does feel a bit like she's excluded at work because all the other girls are so close. Until she finally discovers that they are all part of an all-girls fight club that's kind of run in the basement of the record store. And she joins, and there's some things going down in the music industry, and they just kick some ass, and it's so much fun. And I just adore the art in this book. It's so pretty. I have crushes on all of the girls because they are all so very pretty. And you've got such a sweet romance as well. You've got our kind of main one between these two, and she's got a boyfriend and she's got a girlfriend, and it's all great. Love it so much. And yeah, just lots of like kicking men's asses, and like what more could you want? So I would definitely recommend if you do like that kind of retro vibe, because this does it so well. And again, music fans and just women fans, you will really like this. It's so pretty. I'm so glad I have this one in physical. I will need to buy the first one as well, but I actually read it on Scribd. I also really love the friendships in this one, and especially what's going on between these two, just best friendship, but overall like the whole group. God, these girls are all so great and care for each other so much, and I just love reading all their interactions as well as the kind of taking people down part as well. It's such a nice balance and it works so well, and I cannot recommend this enough if you're looking to get into graphic novels. I think this is a I think this is a great place to start because it is very short, and you will fly through it and you'll realize, hey, wait a minute, my Gertrude's Gold does not know what's about to hit it because I can fly through these things. So yes, I highly recommend if you're just looking for a short fun read and lots of good vibes. Next up, I read The Lady's Guide to Celestial Mechanics by Olivia Waite. So this is a romance, it's an adult romance, it's historical, it's set in the Regency era, and you follow two women, Lucy and Catherine. And so Catherine is looking for a translator to continue her late husband's astronomy work. She needs someone that can translate a very complicated French astronomy text. And we meet Lucy, who is very much capable of this. She has been working with her father on astronomy for a long time, and really a lot of his work has actually been hers under his name because obviously at this period women couldn't really do that, especially not in such a field like astronomy. And so she goes to Catherine and asks to be the translator, and the two women end up kind of living together and working together as Lucy does this translation, and you can see them just bonding in their evenings and time spent together and falling in love, and it's so good. I also really enjoyed this one, that's why it's in this video. And this is very feminist focused because of obviously the position these women find themselves in the Regency era, and in this very male dominated scientific field and community where really their contributions just don't matter. And I really just loved how this played into the narrative. Like the main is definitely the romance, but I thought this was such a fun thing to also have and to also explore, as well as also the kind of value of art compared to science. this was a really fun conversation because Catherine is not scientific at all, but she spent her whole life surrounded by scientists, like her husband, who was very much science focused. Everything in his life was for science. And just her realizing that she has value too, and love it. So yes, I definitely recommend this if you're looking to try reading some historical fiction, some romance, some adult, particularly romance, because it definitely wasn't difficult or anything like that to read. It's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to reading more from the author. She's got some other sapphic books. And again, if you like a feminist theme, I think I'll really, really enjoy this. It's just done so, so well, so enjoyable to read. Cannot recommend this enough if you are looking for some historical sapphics taking down the patriarchy very, very slowly. Next up, I want to talk about A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. So I've spoken about this a lot at my channel recently, since reading it back in like February. Yes, that's how late I am in this video. But I just adored this one. It's definitely a new favourite. So this is a YA fantasy. It is set in Toronto, and in this world the fairy courts are real and thriving. And so we follow 4 queer teens who are all involved in these courts as they are forced to kind of come together to solve some gruesome ritualistic murders taking place against the Ironborn population, meaning the half-fae population. And I just adore it so much. You follow like 4 point of views. So you've got Arlo, who is an outsider. She's Ironborn herself, and she's just not got a lot of power, and she's really struggling with where to fit in. And you follow Nausicaa, who I love with my entire being, who is an ex-Fury, so she is immortal. She's on this complete different wavelength to everyone else, but she was cast out for committing a crime and forced to live in the mortal realm. And she's just like this badass sword lesbian, but oh, love her. And you follow Van, who is the prince of the Seelie Summer Court, and his bodyguard Aurelian, and get some of the politics happening there. And I think we're really going to build on some of those politics, and it's going to be a bit more political focused in the sequel, which I'm excited for. But yes, you have got, of course, so many queers. So you've got a budding romance between Arlo and Nausicaa. Right now, there's not been a lot, and Arlo is still very much questioning, though the authors confirmed that she's pansexual, and this will all be revealed in book 2. And I love them so much. Their flirting is so cute. You've got the I hate everyone else but her trope, which is just so fun, and a bit of an enemies to lovers, because their kind of relationship begins with Arlo accusing Nausicaa of murder. And oh, it's so fun. I just love their banter and dynamics between both these pairings, but also like all 4 of them together. It's so much fun. I think I've said before that I can really see this becoming like the new big thing. I think it is just so good and so much like what YA needs in terms of queer characters at the center, and kind of reviving some of these books that people love that are very straight, such as like The Cruel Prince and The Mortal Instruments. It's definitely those vibes, but make it queer, and I love it so much. Yeah, I find that the world building was very, very strong in this. I'm so intrigued by this world, and I cannot wait to find out more about it in the sequel. The plot is also so strong, this kind of murder mystery, and I loved how this all unfolded and what this all means for the sequel, of course, and I cannot wait to be back with these characters and just see them all blossom and develop and get into some relationships, because oh, love them so much. And when you realise how very gay this title is, when you get that title reference, it is the best feeling. It is so good. I cannot recommend this one enough as well. You've got so many queer characters, trans characters, you know, neo-pronouns, gender fluid, all of that. You've got mental health rep. Nausicaa is depressed and attends therapy and is very open about this. You've got murder mystery, amazing world building, the fairies but make it gay. You've got so much, and it is so good. And next up, I read Perfect on Paper by Sophie Gonzalez. So this is an ARC, and I need to get a physical copy because it was so good. And this follows Darcy, who is bisexual, and she is very much pining for her best friend, who probably doesn't feel the same way. And she also runs this kind of anonymous love advice thing out of an empty locker at her school, where people send her anonymous letters and she emails them back, and it's a whole lot of fun. But one day when she's collecting the letters from this locker, the popular boy in school, Brohim, I think I'm pronouncing that right, very sorry if not, comes across her and ends up kind of almost blackmailing her into helping him and giving him some love advice in person. And because he wants to win his ex back. And this kind of starts this really fun relationship between the two of them. And I just loved this so much. They have such a fun dynamic. And I just flew through this book, enjoyed it so much. It's got me kind of wanting to reread Sophie's debut, Only Mostly Devastated, because I wasn't the hugest of fans, but I also just wasn't in a very good mood or place when I read it, and I think that really spoils my experience. But yes, so you've got a bisexual main character here, but an MF romance, but it's still sapphic because Darcy is still sapphic no matter who she's in a relationship with, and I will not accept biphobia. Thank you very much. And it is just the sweetest. You have also got a very prominent trans side character, Darcy's older sister, and I love her and I love their relationship. It is just such good, like, teen fun, and I also really love Darcy kind of character development as she's trying to like psychoanalyze herself because she studied a bit of psychology and she thinks this gives her all the knowledge she needs to give love advice and know everything about herself and everyone else, and just kind of seeing her realize that that's bullshit was a lot of fun. But yes, if you're looking for just such a fun, sweet rom-com you can just fly through, it's funny, it's just gripping, and it's got the best characters, lots of fun character dynamics. I would definitely recommend this one. I have heard that the bi rap has really spoken to so many bi readers. Like if you look on Goodreads, you will see so many reviews just singing the praises, saying it's the best bi rap they've ever read. And I'm very glad this exists for bi readers and that y'all have been liking it. I can't believe I just said y'all. But yeah, there's this scene where Darcy is talking about some of the biphobia she's faced and kind of internalized as well, and that scene is just so incredible. Definitely needs to be like recommended reading for that alone. I think it's just very powerful and so damn good. Highly recommend it. And the final book I want to talk about today is Not My Problem by Kira Smith. I've spoken about this book a lot on my channel recently, and it's just because I love it, and when I love a book, I cannot shut up about that book. So definitely if you want to know more about this, I will link down below my video review, and you've got a bit of my reaction to reading it and then some of my thoughts on finishing it and overall. And I cannot recommend this book enough. It's definitely like cemented Kira Smith as my favourite author. So this follows Aideen, who's having a bit of a rough time. She's got a difficult home life. Her relationship with her best friends ain't doing the best, and she's struggling academically as well. She's just got a lot on her mind. And one day she comes across her nemesis, Maeve, having an absolute breakdown, and somehow ends up roped into pushing her down the stairs to help solve her problems. And this begins Aideen on this kind of journey of solving other people's problems and continuing to deny her own. And it also sparks this relationship between her and Maeve, and also a boy called Cavi who gets involved in Aideen's like schemes and favors and starts setting them up. So you've got this lovely like fine family of misfits between these three, and then Maeve and Aideen also developing a romantic relationship. And this book is so good. Kira Smith knows how to write characters, more than knows how to write characters. She writes incredible, authentic, realistic characters. You understand their motivations so completely. Everything they do makes sense, even if you're like, why are you doing this? You understand why they're doing it because you understand the character. I just loved reading this. It's good teen fun. It's best characters and relationships and humor. Kira Smith is one of very few authors I found where I actually like find their humorous. A lot of them, I don't know if it's just because it's American and we've got different humors, but like they're not funny. But this is genuinely funny and just so fun, so very Irish as well. You've got so many like little bits of Irishisms and language and things, and I loved it so much. Aideen is just my best girl. Love her. She is going through some stuff, but she's still so funny, and oh, and just seeing her develop and kind of learn to put herself first in this book was so good. I think so many of the narratives in this book are so important for teen readers, as well as just being enjoyable to read. Like, putting yourself first is so important and something you really need to learn to do, and something I took a very long time to learn to do, still struggle. It is so good. I've said good so many times. I'm not very creative. I need to get a thesaurus or something. And actually, I interviewed Kira, so that video went up a week ago from when I'm planning on uploading this, at the end of April. And guys, this was so fun, such an honour to do, and I definitely recommend you go check it out. I'll link it below. But when we're talking a bit about the inspirations behind this book, this is very kind of like one of the initial inspirations was sex education, like this idea of just meddling in other people's lives. That's where this began. And also I would compare it to Dairy Girls as well. I think it is just so fun and unmistakably Irish, and this kind of fun school setting. Lesbians really do exist, all of that. It's good, fun. Definitely recommend you pick this one up. So yeah, that is the 5 books I wanted to speak to you about today, and I hope you've enjoyed and I hope you'll consider picking some of them up. I have got full reviews for the last 3 of these up on my Goodreads, which I'll link down below as well. So definitely make sure to check out the description for those links I've mentioned, my social media and my bookshop affiliate if you fancy purchasing any books and supporting independent bookstores, the environment and me. And yes, thank you very much for watching and for supporting this series. I love it so much. I'm very sorry I've neglected it a bit, but I've been very busy and had other stuff I had to put up. But I'm very glad to not be busy anymore and to be able to continue this series and catch up a bit and speak to you all about sapphic books, because as we all know, that is what I live to do. It's my only personality at this point. So yes, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you with another video soon.